Hi everyone, I'm Annette Pasternak here, the Stop Skin Picking Coach. I'm here today with Merrill Black, who you might recognize because she's been on my channel before. Merrill is a licensed clinical social worker. She is a hypnotherapist. She's a Reiki master and other things, life force yoga teacher, which is what you might have seen her do before on my channel. And today she's going to talk to us because she has a lot of experience doing hypnotherapy with people with body focused repetitive behaviors, BFRBs, like skin picking and hair pulling. So, welcome back, Meryl.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming back.
My pleasure.
So, can you just give us an overview? Because I know a lot of people, including myself, have tried hypnosis for skin picking, hair pulling. I mean, I don't know too much about it. What my current belief is that it can sometimes be helpful.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I will never say it 100% works. I think it really does depend. I've seen in my practice that sometimes it works great, sometimes it works okay, sometimes it doesn't work at all. So there is a whole range. I mean, I can say that from my experience that I have seen it really been more effective consistently with people who are skin pickers.
Hmm.
And, why that's different than hair pullers? I mean, I have a couple of theories about that. I think because, the thinking is a little different with skin picking than with hair pulling. There may be a little bit more of cognitive distortions around, oh, this looks bad, or I need to get rid of this, or this needs to be cleaned, or a perfectionism kind of piece. And not saying you can't have some of the perfectionism with hair pulling, you can, but there does seem to be a whole different, you know, thinking process that goes on with skin pickers versus hair pullers. And so maybe because when I'm going into the subconscious and I'm giving suggestions, it just seems to like stick a little bit better for the skin pickers, maybe not to notice like so much, or like, pass by mirror and not feel like they have to stop kind of thing.
Wow.
So the triggers I think can help really with dealing with that BFRB differently. But again, not to say I have had hair pullers that I've done hypnosis for, and it's been very successful. So again, it depends. I don't often start with hypnosis with someone unless they really come in and saying, "Listen, I've done everything. I've tried all the tools. So I really just want to try hypnosis." I still like to give some prep time for people using like the Kobo model, the SCAMP, all of that. Because I'm a cognitive behavior therapist, I like to do that piece with people so they have those tools while we're starting to build the rapport, because I think that's a piece of it too. When you're giving hypnosis, and there is a level of trust with that, because people have misconceptions about what's hypnosis. We all see like what's in the movies with the watch and the clock, or
Yeah, so let's just quickly get to that. Like, what is hypnosis?
So hypnosis is just a deep state of relaxation. That's all it is. You as the client are always in the driver's seat. You're in control. If I make a suggestion or I say something and your mind doesn't really like what I'm saying, you won't accept it, or you'll change it, or you'll shift it. So it's not this far out thing. You are often very present, but you feel kind of removed sometimes. Or people will describe, "Oh, I heard you, but your voice sounded very far away." Or they might have a real deep experience where they remember certain parts of the hypnotic state, but not all of it. And that depends. And usually when someone gets really good at it, they will go so deep that they'll remember going down and like, I remember coming back up, and they don't necessarily remember the in-between. But it does get in there. It just means they were in a really relaxed, deep state and trust the process to allow that to happen.
Interesting.
So, we experience hypnosis all the time in our daily lives. So, for example, if you've ever driven somewhere and you're like, "Oh, I don't even remember how I got here." That's a state of hypnosis, right? Most of us have experienced that. And, if you're really deep in a book and you're like really entrenched and you sort of hear the sounds outside, but not really, that's a hypnotic state. Or I'll go as far to say, when you're doing pulling or picking and you like time lapses for like hours and you don't realize it's been that long, that's a hypnotic state as well when you're in that kind of zone. So that's why I think a lot of times this population is really good candidate for hypnosis because you're kind of already doing it. You're kind of experts at it. I think it's kind of just giving another experience of that of that state of consciousness without actually doing the behavior. And it gives you another experience of what relaxation feels like without pulling or picking.
Right.
So often when I ask people, what do you do for relaxation? The answer is I pick or I pull.
Yeah.
And not the only state that they do it in. Obviously, we know there's the whole range, right, of why people might pull or pick with almost every emotion or feeling or state. But, a lot of times it'll be for that. So I think it just gives them another tool to be able to experience relaxation without engaging in that behavior.
So do you record the session and then they listen to it?
Yes. So not the first time, because what I do usually, if no one's had hypnosis before, or maybe even if they have, I'll do a shorter kind of induction, a shorter, lighter hypnotic state, let's say, so that the mind can kind of wrap itself around it and understand it, and the body as well. And so then it allows, when we do it the next time, for someone to go deeper into that experience. And so I'll do that, and I won't necessarily record that. But at some point in the process, because I'll tell people usually between 1 to 5 sessions, we'll know if the hypnosis is working. Okay. Usually know after a couple of them. And so then I'll give a CD, and they can listen to it on their own as they need, and often people do. And again, I've seen a range, sometimes people don't come back for months later. I have one person that never came back because it just worked, but that was after like a year and a half of solid treatment of doing CBT and, other, forms and modalities. And, she just, nothing was really working. And so we tried the hypnosis, and I think she was just so ready. It clicked, and she was pull free. So it was like, that was pretty amazing. But that's not the case for everybody. It really does depend. And then after a while, if people say, yeah, listen to the CD, but they kind of need a little booster shot, they may come back again, and we'll have another session or two to kind of, reinforce it.
Yeah, I imagine you would sort of talk to them at that time and trying to figure out, well, what's not working right now, and then new suggestions would address that.
Yeah, and and sometimes it's in a place of exploration too, of like, as much as someone thinks they're totally ready and on board, they may not be. So that can kind of be, okay, what are the blocks that are getting in the way of you stopping your pulling and picking? So sometimes there's exploration about that too, and you can use that in hypnosis as well. Sort of help everything line up to make it a more positive experience and for it to work.
As far as why so many people go to hypnotherapists and it doesn't work for them for skin picking, let's say, I imagine a big part of it is that the therapist doesn't know about skin picking, doesn't know anything, and what the right kinds of suggestions would be to say, right?
Yeah, I do think that's one part of it for sure. If they've just gone to a regular hypnotherapist or hypnotist and they've never really dealt with the BFRB issues, then they're not going to know the right suggestions to say or do, or they won't even know the right questions to ask in terms of helping them tailor make the hypnosis session. So yes, I do think that's absolutely one component. But listen, it may be that there's a piece inside that the person's like, not totally ready yet to get rid of this behavior. So that could be a piece of it too. Another piece could be they don't connect with who's doing the hypnosis. Right. So there's a lot of factors, I think, involved.
I think when I went, it was not connecting, feeling like, wait a second, I don't feel like I was hypnotized or all that relaxed. And in 20 minutes, this is only 20 minutes long, and you're just saying, like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And yeah, there wasn't that kind of trust and buy-in to it ahead of time. And yeah, and I don't think she really knew enough about it and what was going on and why I did it. It
Right.
was just a simple suggestion of like, okay, when you feel like you're gonna do it, just press your fingertips together. Yeah, that
Yeah.
lasted for 2 days. And she
Yeah,
did
you know what? I don't, and that's the thing. When I'll do hypnosis, I try to throw the kitchen sink in. And what I
everything.
mean by
Yeah,
that is I throw a lot of suggestions in
yeah.
because unless there's one in particular that kind of stands out that, okay, this kind of really might click for this person. But yeah, I mean, I'll may suggest something like that, but there'll be so many other layers to give suggestions for people to help them, not pull a pick. So yes, I agree, and that's kind of a short hypnosis session, 20 minutes, because for
Yeah.
me, 20 minutes, it takes about my experience has been, it takes about 20 minutes for a person really to get into that deeper state.
Mhm.
So once they're there, that's when I can kind of go deeper and go into the suggestion piece. So that, unless someone's been doing hypnosis with me for so long, if they can just go under pretty quickly now,
Yeah.
But that's been my experience, because you look for certain signs of where the person there's really starting to like get into that good zone.
Yeah.
I would say my sessions are usually, anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes, a hypnosis session. So
Cool.
could be a little longer too, depending.
Right. Okay. Well, people can find you at the Temperance Center.
That's the website.
Mhm.
Well, my individual website is healyourlifetoday.com. So, and it's healyourlife, the number 2, day, day.com. That's my individual website. But there's also the Temperance Center. They can find me through there too, because that's also links to my individual website. So it's the temperancecenter.com, and that's TEMPERANCE, center, CENTER.com.
Yeah, I'll put both of those links below in the YouTube description. So you just have to click there and find Merrill there. Yeah, and she's located in New York. If you're there or passing through, I mean, I don't know if you take do do you only work with patients on like a longer term, or do you do?
Necessarily, there
Okay.
might be someone that will come and say, I just want a hypnosis session, so I may do 1 or 2 for them, and see if it clicks. So no, I don't necessarily have to work with someone long term for hypnosis.
Do you ever do online kind of? No.
I do for that. I will, I can do sessions, for people if they want to do like more of the talk therapy kind of thing, but not for hypnosis.
Okay.
I've never tried it. I don't know. I mean, it might work, but I kind of really like to be in the office space with the person I'm doing that particular modality.
I could see why that would be. And another time, I mean, I tried hypnosis 3 times technically. Once when I was really young, like I was in my 20s, but I tried it for this.
Yeah.
But it was also a relative that was doing it to me. So maybe, I was just like, laughing and stuff. I like the way she was saying things. I don't know. But then another time I did it, I tried to do it with somebody over the phone and didn't work. And that time I paid quite a bit of money too.
Yeah, I would think over the phone is tough because, again, I like to, for me, I need the visual cues to kind of see if that person's getting relaxed, whether they're breathing or there's involuntary movement of fingers. And so I look for certain things, and then I can kind of know if the person's actually in a deeper state or not.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
And also, like, sometimes people fall asleep. So, difference between hypnosis and sleep state.
Yeah.
and I try to tell people I don't want to do hypnosis if you're exhausted, because you don't want to fall asleep. That's
Right.
not the goal. The goal is to be in just that different state of consciousness.
Interesting.
So-
Yeah.
So I would say for me personally, maybe there are people that do it over the phone or Skype or whatever. I do it in person. Yeah. Where
So-
other modalities I might do on the phone, healing or other things I can do through the phone. But
Yeah, cool. So if somebody, in my audience wanted to try hypnosis, is there anything that you would suggest that they ask a hypnotherapist, like interviewing them beforehand?
yeah, I mean, the first question is, have you worked with BFRBs? And how many people have you worked with BFRBs? Because if they've only worked with one or two, they're not going to really understand the full scope of it. But if someone's had, a lot of clients with those problems, then really they'll be more equipped. And you can ask them too, like, what were your results that you found with people? Did you find that it helped? It helped? And kind of see what their answer is with that.
I just thought of this too. So there are, I'm not sure if you're familiar with some of the things online. Like there's a YouTube video, hypnosis for skin picking, that people, I mean, it has like, last I looked, it had over 300,000 views, and people were putting really good things online. There's also there's like MP3 recordings or CDs for sale. Are you familiar with any of those, or have you heard? Okay, I'm just putting it out there to people that there are those things. Maybe I'll link to them in the description, even though it's not getting an endorsement from either you or I. We're not.
I mean, listen, I'm all about trying different things, and if it works for you, great,
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, okay, or if it kind of works and it kind of piques your interest of, I kind of like this, but I think I want to see someone, then that's great also.
Cool.
As long as they get the help, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, have you tried hypnosis, viewer? Leave a comment for us. Share your experience, or if you have any questions, also for either one of us, ask them. I can like let Merrill know if there's a question for her. We don't get a ton of questions, so you're not going to get overloaded.
Any questions, welcome. I'll answer it. If I don't, I'll let you know I don't know.
Thank you so much for being on.
Thanks so much. Have a really beautiful day.